Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you're going to meet a producer, actor, writer who is on a mission to make quality, affordable, faith-based films. His incredible journey just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
I think we're living in a very exciting time when it comes to films. All the truly great movies these days are not being made by those big production companies in Hollywood. They're being made by independent film companies. And that's why I invited my next guest into the studio. The great Nick Rice is in studio. He is the producer, actor, writer, and he's got a new project that is about to come out. Let's talk about your journey, because you kind of got the acting bug a little later in life, didn't you?
I did. I was 34 years old. The short story is, because I was a minister, I grew up as a pastor's kid, and then I went into ministry myself. I was a worship leader for 16 years, and then got extremely burned out, as a lot of ministers do. And then God said, go into acting, and I was like, okay. And so I did, and it was quite a journey. So that's the short version, if you know what I mean.
And you've done a lot of work. Let's pull up his IMDb page, because this goes on for miles. You've been a part of how many projects now?
Total of about 20. Notable, probably about 4 or 5 when it comes to ones I'm proud of, I guess you could say. But, a lot of short films, done a lot of commercials, because in Texas it's 95% commercial and commercial print for an actor. But really, really proud of what I've done. It's been a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Okay, we want to set up the movie trailer so it doesn't come from left field. What's 426 about?
426 is basically, it's about spiritual warfare inside the marriage. Based on a true story. It's actually based on 3 different true stories, and we kind of splice them all together into one. But it's going to show the gritty side of spiritual warfare inside the marriage.
And it refers to a scripture.
It does. 426 refers to Ephesians 4:26, where it says, do not let the sun go down in your anger.
Awesome. Okay, let's go ahead and roll the trailer.
Hello, Eden. Who is this?
Oh, my name isn't important. I'm just a small voice on the other end of a phone. Besides, I'm not the important one here. You are.
You know what I want, Aiden? I want to go out there, okay? I want to have some new experiences. I want to figure out who I am.
They yell and argue. And they're not supposed to yell and argue. It's bad.
You lost something that was dear to you, didn't you? An angel that never came to this world. I can't imagine the agony that was caused.
This voice you hear, you say it comes from some place you call the beginning?
There's a snake and all the pretty flowers.
What part of yourself did you sell to get married?
Can't you see, Aiden? It's better on this side!
She cannot satisfy your hunger. Feed it. Feed it.
Hello?
Hello, Eva.
Who is this?
Oh, my name doesn't matter. After all, I'm just a tiny voice on the other end of a phone.
amazing. And I know, I mean, this looks like this could be, you know, $100 million film.
Oh.
I'm not asking you to disclose how much you made it for, but it's a fraction of that.
It is a fraction of that. And the reason why we wanted to show you guys exactly what we've done here, because it's gritty stuff. It's not cheesy Christian stuff, but it's true to the word. And we did it for a fraction of the price, to where we've cracked the code on how to make money in film. Yes. So if anybody, like a business person or something like that, and they've always wanted to invest in film, but film has usually been the highest risk of investment because you never know if you're going to get a return. But because of the people that we've connected with by, I believe, divine appointment from God, we've put together a team and the connections we have with distribution to where there's no way you can't make money off of this. Because even the theaters are hungry for Christian content, even if they're not Christian theaters, because they know Christian content gets people in the theater to spend money. And so we just wanted to create something that was high quality and awesome.
Okay, without naming a film and disparaging a film, when you say cheesy, faith-based, what does it? Are you saying that it's kind of like a little bit Hallmarky?
Yeah. I was actually going to say that Hallmarky, Lifetime type of stuff, to where it just comes off as on the nose.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean. We wanted to show that even when you walk with Christ, it's not going to be all, you know, sunflowers and roses. You know, there's going to be some tough times. But the great thing is you have the ultimate comforter to turn to. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
And when you're not making films, you're producing incredible amounts of content. We're gonna pull up your TikTok page because you have a very successful podcast called Nick's Right. Tell us about that.
So Nick's Right podcast, we haven't had our first episode yet, but we have started our social media and we're talking about culture and politics. But the reason why we called it Nick's Right podcast is because me and my business partner, Nick, who's actually the real writer of the team, I'm just his collaborator. But him and I have an awesome dynamic to where we argue a lot. And so we wanted to be able to bring that to people because we're the kind of brothers where we can argue a lot and we can, you know, be okay with being wrong or the other person being right, but it's always very entertaining. And so we wanted to bring those viral moments to everybody. And also we wanted to talk about culture and politics. And he's a Gen Xer. I'm an old millennial. So it's a really good dynamic. He hates technology. I grew up with technology. So it's just one of those things where, like, I just had an argument with him this morning about, I'm trying to tell him that, dude, you need to post on TikTok. You could be making money off of TikTok. And he's like, oh yeah, I forgot. And he always gets distracted by something else. It's just a great dynamic that we have. So that'll be launching soon. We don't have a set date, but it will happen pretty soon. So if you want to go follow Nick's Right podcast on TikTok and on YouTube, that's where our main following is.
Okay, your career is just getting started. Can I ask your age?
I am 42.
42. So where do you see this going for the next 30 years?
You know, I hate that question.
Yeah.
You know, it's whenever you go to an interview, it's like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I hate that question. But when it comes to ultimate, I want to be someone who is basically making film for a living, you know, and I know a lot of filmmakers, actors, writers, that's what they all want to do. And I want to tell all you actors and writers, you can't just do one thing anymore. You have to be a producer, actor, writer, director, whatever. You can't just do one thing anymore.
Wow. Okay, Nick, this went by very quickly, so we're almost out of time. In the final minute or so, look into that camera on the left, and what do you want to leave people with?
Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. There's no other way to heaven but through him. But when it comes to what you've been called to do, you are going to see and experience obstacles, but those are meant to help you persevere and mature you, because it says in James 1:2-3, consider it pure joy, brothers and sisters, that you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Perseverance must finish its work in you so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. So I live by that.
Wow. Beautiful way to leave this episode. We're also going to leave you with his website, which is 420movie.com.
426.
426.
426movie.com.
426movie.com. The great Nick Rice. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
You bet.
Yeah.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.